Doreen. I had the pleasure of meeting some of you. I'll get around to the rest because this is personally one of my favorite events. It is an opportunity to celebrate folks who have given so much to our community. The resumes and the bios that I've read are incredibly impressive. It takes way more than a village to make some of our nonprofits run or organizations run, everything from PTO I've seen to Kingsway Community. And the time that volunteers invest just comes back manifold, not just to the folks that they're supporting, but to themselves. As a volunteer myself, I know how gratifying and enriching it can make you feel, but that sense of community really is what it's all about. So it's that connection that you're building with everyone else, and y'all have done it for a long time. The nominees tonight, or today, this morning, are incredible individuals. They've been selected by others in the community and nominated by them. And then senior long-term care is, our county is one of all of the counties in New York that goes and brings those names to the state and gets an award. So I am thrilled to be able to hand out certificates of recognition to many of you here today. And for those who are attending to support the nominees and award winners, thank you for coming as well. It means so much to see not just how one person can do so much, but really the folks around them that help them do what they accomplish on a volunteer level in our community. So thank you for coming today too and celebrating your friends and family. So Nancy is receiving today the Schenectady County Honorable Karen B. Johnson Older New Yorker of the Year Award from New York State Senate. And this award, many of these awards are named for Karen Johnson, who was the first mayor of the city of Schenectady. Most of you know that, but also was incredibly involved in so many of our community organizations. So the namesake of this award is so fitting for all that you've done. What I happen to love about your bio, I'm not terribly crafty, I'm gonna admit it. I did learn how to knit, it's really hard. But a lot of what you've done is to create through knitting and crocheting, just items of love, right? Whether it's for babies.
Sorry,
it's called Stitches of Heart and Stitches of Love Ministry, and you travel to churches and other organizations to create really items of love to support veterans, children, people who need prayer support, right, through prayer shawls. And that is, I think, touching so many lives because there's no doubt that those are heirlooms. Those become heirlooms for families to pass on to others, and just precious items that I think enrich the people who receive them and their families and friends who see it and know that their loved ones are so supportive. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of her bio because Nancy is incredibly impressive. She worked with the New York State Department of Health for 30 years. Thank you so much for that service. Well done. After earning her accounting degree from Schenectady County Community College, so it's nice to have someone local. Having married your husband, had 2 children, 4 grandchildren, and you are a faithful member of St. Luke's Roman Catholic Church. And you're also supporting many activities there. You participate in various organizations through the community, including Sons of Italy, Ladies of Charity, like I mentioned, Stitches of Heart Ministry of the Church of St. Adelbert, thank you, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and St. Paul the Apostle Churches. And your nominator, Krista Black of St. Luke's Outreach, is that a surprise?
It was.
Said about you, in addition to being talented and creative, Nancy leads with an example of compassion, generosity, and kindness. She values the dignity and worth of each person. So if you would like to say some words, we'd love to hear anything you have to offer. Come on.
I didn't expect that at all. I would just like to thank you so much. The recognition was quite a surprise, and I'm very thankful for it. I do enjoy working, and as you said, the prayer shawl ministry is near and dear to my heart. We reach out to nursing homes, the elderly, the shut-ins, bringing them prayers within the shawls, lap cans we bring to them. We recognize veterans on Veterans Day. Through all of those parishes, we've recognized over 120 veterans over the past few years with lap cans on Veterans Day. So that is near and dear to my heart very much. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. It is always so, I think, really important for us to hear the good work that people are doing that earn these recognitions. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you this. Along with a lot of really wonderful recognitions from our various state senators. So we have Michele Hinchy here, and this is from Schenectady County Legislature. You are also receiving today a $25 gift card to Market 32.
I don't think they ever on
So Adrian is also receiving the Schenectady County Honorable Karen B. Johnson Older New Yorker of the Year Award from the New York State Senate. She was a teacher at Scotia Glenville's Lincoln Elementary for 34 years. Oh, we've got an attendee, Justin.
That's awesome.
But Adrian's here today because of the incredible amount of time and commitment and honestly a legacy that she has served the board over at Schenectady ARC for more than 30 years. It's an organization that your parents started, am I right?
Yes, among others, of course.
And that is such a commitment. She's held just about every position on the board.
Except anything that had anything to do with money.
Oh, okay. And the amount of dedication that you've given to that organization is really extraordinary. It allows the participants to live healthy, rewarding, and fulfilling lives, which is the mission, certainly. And I have no doubt that you've kept that close to your heart in every moment that you volunteered there. So let's see. You were nominated by Michele Dombrowski. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. She says about Adrian's lifelong impact on our community is evidenced by her family's legacy that she continued through her years of commitment to the developmentally disabled population within the county. Adrian has shown her commitment to her community through her years as an elementary school teacher. To this day, she is often still greeted fondly by former students when their paths cross. That is incredibly special. I would love to hear about your impressions of the work that you've done, the organization that you've supported, and tell us just anything that you'd like to share, maybe inspirational.
Okay, I also did lots. I spent my time dividing between my church and ARC,
Oh,
mostly
talk about
mostly ARC. And my two friends are actually, I taught both of their children. So we got to be friends that way. My parents were just so dedicated to ARC, and I lived it all my life. And I was a little kid when they found it, very little. And it's just stuck with me. It was part of what I did. And when my dad died very young, and so my mom took over for a while and started working. And well, she always did, but she stayed with my sister most of the time, and my father was a politician. But after he passed, Mom was active, and then after a while, I started taking her to meetings, and all of a sudden I got a call that asked me to serve on the board, and I thought about it long and hard, because I was still teaching, and I wasn't sure, but I've enjoyed it so much. It's a wonderful group. It changes sometimes more so than others, but it's great. They're great people. They work hard, and I've just enjoyed my 35 years that I've been there with them. And I kind of just went off the board last June was my last meeting, and I do miss the people. I miss the work, but I can still keep active, and I try to, because they are not rid of me yet. I thank you for this award. That was very kind of Michele to think about sending in the nomination. I said, you want me to do what? Anyway, so I thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I'll also I'll be presenting you with a certificate from Senator Michele, as well as from our county legislature, and a gift card from Market 32. Angelina is receiving today the Schenectady County Honorable Karen B. Johnson Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah. Very wonderful. A lifelong resident of Schenectady County. She runs the Glenville Schenectady Center's newsletter, published 6 times a year to 1,500 residents. And that is a very serious commitment and keeps people connected to each other and to the community. It is so important. So I thank you very much for that work. And I would love for you to take a moment and talk about your volunteer work and maybe any nuggets of knowledge that you've learned along the way.
All right. Well, I've been a member of the Senior Center for just as long as I've been running the newsletter. That's how it started. I, along with a lot of other people, I'm the head of it, and I deal with the post office and our members, but a lot of our volunteers do a lot of work to accomplish. A good example of it, Vicki, who is the head of our senior center, just told me that our paper that's going to come out, it was going to the printer today. She was sending it. She couldn't get hold of the printer. And they contacted the family. He died during the night. And before she came here, she had to call some other printers that we had gone out for quotes on to get them to do the printing because the mailing goes out next week. And they need so many days to do it. But that's the kind of urgency and working together that we have. Some of our people fold newsletters at home just to help us. But we have anywhere from 18 to 25 people come every time we have a mailing. We just ask for volunteers. And Barbara here, who is also one of our members, puts out a news blast, and then people come to help us for about 2 hours, and they fold and label things, which have already, the labels, the 1,500 labels are all already sorted and ready to go, and we work together and get it done in about 2 hours, but it takes a lot of people to accomplish what we do. So it's not just me, I kind of am the lead when it first started. And several years ago, Dick McMahon was here receiving this award, and he and I started the newsletter. And the layout of it, it's 16 pages long. And it's really it informs everybody of so many different things. And it's not only for the seniors who belong to the center, there are trips that are offered, and it gets the news out to the whole area. People from Niskayuna, from Boston Spa, they sign up for trips too. Wow. So it's a very rewarding experience. So I've enjoyed doing it as much as I put my work into it with the organizing things with the post office and all. I enjoyed it, but I get a lot out of it. And I appreciate that everybody else does also. So that's about, as far as being in the county, I grew up in Schenectady, went to St. Anthony's, and I actually worked while my children were little in this school, St. John the Evangelist, in the office for about 5 years. And then I went back to my regular job, and then we moved to Glenville, and I've been there for about 44 years now in Glenville. And I joined, and my contacts at the senior center have made me meet so many new people. That's what people don't understand, how much you get out of it. When you put in your time, you receive benefits from it. You meet so many new people, all different types. So I've enjoyed every part of it also. And I guess that's all I have to say, but I thank you all.
I found your words really inspiring, and my takeaway is you've inspired all of those volunteers to help you. You've managed every month a massive undertaking. You're flexible, you're able to pull in resources when you need them, and the amount that you've given is extraordinary. So I'm glad to hear that you've also received some love back and all of that.
Thank you.
And this is your certificate from the county. It's my honor and privilege to present that to you,
Thank you very much.
along with the gift card.
Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you. I get to do this because on the county ledge, I'm chair of the Health, Housing, and Human Services Committee, and that's my relationship with senior long-term care services. They do an extraordinary job. Folks in this room might not need some of their services just yet, but they do have a lot of different things that they do, a lot of programs that they offer. So if you have any questions about what you might need at home, or other questions you have about whether it's health insurance, navigation, or care at home that you might need, they're a wealth of information. Please do talk to them about your own needs or friends and family needs. I represent Nisku, Scotia, Glenville, so that was a really wonderful, thing to be able to give the award to Angelina, an actual constituent. So that was wonderful. I've already met Ed today, and I can, from what folks have described, and having met you and spoken with you just for a few minutes, he has a big personality. Don't let his calm demeanor right now fool you. It seems like what I've heard of Ed, he's the life of the party. So I'm excited to announce that Ed was nominated for the Schenectady County Honorable Karen B. Johnson Older New Yorker of the Year Award. And I don't have who actually nominated you. Is it okay? So what was your name again?
Renee.
Renee nominated him, and he works closely with Darlene in social
Kingsway.
affairs at
Yeah.
Kingsway.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you, Kingsway Community, and for the social.
Resident engagement.
Thank you. Much
Yes.
better words. Resident engagement. And it sounds like he's very game to put on costumes, but also I suspect engage other residents and make sure that people feel welcome, loved, secure where they are, and exactly the kind of person that you want to be neighbors with, for sure. And I heard that you walk your dog frequently on the grounds, and that's always a lot of fun. So I've met your family as well, and everyone's so proud. So Ed is a native of Schenectady. He's a retiree of the Schenectady General Electric Security and Fire Department and New York State Department of Corrections. You were a counselor there. He volunteered for 10 years with the Scotia Fire Department, fighting fires and emergency management services. I imagine you have many stories to tell. When I've spoken with first responders, it is, you should be very proud of your work and the way that you've touched people's lives in one of their most difficult times, in times of crisis. So thank you so much for doing that service. And he volunteered as a veteran service coordinator, serving veterans admitted to the hospital on hospice or receiving hospice services at their homes. So you have an incredibly big heart, Ed. So I would love to hear, I know that we'd all love to hear some inspiring words of your work, your volunteer work, and so much that you've contributed.
Is she talking about me? It's an honor to be here with you folks. And Renee,
Yes, sir.
my son Ed Jr. and his wife, and I live in Kingsway, and Kingsway takes good care of us. It's a senior center. I'm a native of Schenectady, and I went to high school, and they replaced the school with Denny's Restaurant. I graduated from high school here, but Kingsway takes good care of me, I take care of my little dog. Looks something like that, but you don't have to feed that. I have to feed the dog. But I enjoy living in Kingsway. Kingsway takes, like I said, takes good care of us, and the staff there is amazing. And the residents are great people. It's a pleasure to be around them. It's a pleasure to just be around and be with them. They're great people. They just, I've never met anybody in Kingsway that wasn't friendly, wasn't nice. They're just great people. And the staff, like these folks, are sensational. I couldn't ask for more. And, so I just want to thank you folks for being here today. And I certainly appreciate you folks, and I'm humbled by the experience. Thank you.
I'd also like to present you with a certificate from Schenectady County. Congratulations. And a gift card from.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. So there were 3 folks who could not be here today. I'm going to say their names if you happen to have arrived without us knowing. I'd love to bring you up here. Richard Hollister, Frederick Lindsay, and Kathleen Spano. So let's also honor them. We have certificates and gift cards for them as well that we'll get to them. I do get choked up. I hope you'll forgive me. I think that some of the work that folks have done and the inspirational words that you said today are just incredible, and I really do appreciate having met all of you. And I hope you enjoy this lunch, and I hope you feel just the spirit of the support you have in your county legislators. All of my colleagues know this event is happening, and they send their best regards and many thanks for your years of service to our community. Thank you so much.
Yeah.